Hey, welcome back. We're trying to build a free camper van, which may be a little closer to reality now that we've sold our transport cot for $1,800, which puts us way in the green. If you missed the last video, to catch up to speed, we bought a van with some transport equipment left in it. We're selling those parts, trying to break even and convert this to a camper van for free, including the cost of the van itself. Last week, we cleaned up the van, sold a few things, and built a bed platform. Now, it's more important that the van is functional and nice than free, but I just thought it'd be a fun thing to try before we really get into customizing it and spending more money than this initial build's going to take. So with that being said, today I'm going to try to start on the wiring and flooring and just figuring out what to do with this thing. So let's get to work. We'll start with the easiest way to get electricity into the van, which is shore power. This is a connection for a regular 120 volt extension cable, and it's going right into the steel bumper. We won't be pulling much shore power, so this will be quick and convenient. But now the question is, where do we put the switch to cut over from battery to shore power? It makes sense to be back here since you'll want to switch it when plugging or unplugging, but we don't want it out in the weather. So I'm thinking we hide it right in here. We'll make a little bracket to hold the switch. Just eyeball it, doesn't need to be exact. And then we'll make a new one off camera because, well, it needs to be exact. I bought the switch and shore power connector on Amazon. I'll leave links in the description. Right here I'm just making notches so that my tail lights will sit flush. I'm not trying to be stealthy, I just want it to look nice. That said though, if we put in some magnets here to hold it shut and put on a handle that looks like your average tail light handle, I think we'll hit that mark too. Before we cut this panel, I need to figure out how much the furniture is going to cover up. And I just realized I haven't really talked about the layout in this van. So here's my plan. I've already got the bed in the back, and right here, where I'm about to cut, I'm going to put a refinished dresser. It'll have my storage, hold my air conditioner, and my sink. And over on the door side, I'll have all my electronics and the battery that will be outside of the living area. I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. So right now, let's get our dresser cut to shape. That way we'll know where it's going to fit and where we can cut. Yeah, these cargo channels just were not coming up. So I finally gave up and decided to use them to route some wiring. They do sit a little bit proud of the floor, so I had to cut a slight little channel into the back of my vinyl flooring. Oh, I should mention the access hole in the floor. One thing I did off camera was replace the fuel pump. Fuel pressure measured a little bit low, and this really isn't something you want to have to worry about out on the road. It's so much easier to get to everything up here. If you can't get to your fuel pump from above, you'll have to crawl underneath and drop the gas tank, which is probably held up by old rusty strap bolts, and fumble around with connections you can't see with gasoline-drenched arms wrapped around a tank lying on your chest, trying to figure out why the cheap parts store quick disconnect tool that your Uber driver Fred took you to buy isn't working. Then after hours of struggle, you finally get the tank on the ground under mangled fuel lines just to figure out that it's too tall to slide out from under the van. And Fred is gone. He made his Prius smell like a parts wash station, and it's not coming back. Or just cut an access hole. Here's the electronics area I was talking about earlier. There's not a ton of space, but I'll try to cram everything in here so it won't be taking up living space. With the money we made from the sale of the transport cart, I'm ordering an AC battery charger, solar charger, bus bars, fuses, breakers, and a DC to DC module to charge from my alternator while I'm driving. The battery will go underneath, and it'll be connected with an access hole right here. You might be wondering what kind of lithium battery will fit under the van. Well, a good friend of mine gave me a 5 kilowatt Tesla module a while back, and I think this is a perfect place to use it. This module came with a custom controller and BMS made by a company called 057 Tech, which is no longer in business. So if we have any problems, it looks like we'll be on our own. Hopefully, though, everything will work fine. I've got some interesting ideas for mounting this into the van where it'll be safe and secure. Check back in a couple weeks and see how that worked out. I'd like to know what you think of the build so far, so let me know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. For now, I'll play you out with some very satisfying dresser refinishing footage.